आज ही डाउटनेट ऐप डाउनलोड करें। डाउटनेट पर होगा अब आपके सभी मैथ्स, केमिस्ट्री, फिजिक्स और बायोलॉजी डाउट्स का सफाया। बस अपने क्वेश्चन की फोटो खींचो, उसे क्रॉप करो और तुरंत वीडियो सॉल्यूशन पाओ। डाउनलोड नाउ।
Hello students, today question is if A vector, B vector, C vector are three non-zero coplanar vector, P1 vector they are given, C1 vector, C2 vector, C3 vector, C4 vector they are given. Then set of orthogonal vector is A vector, B1 vector, C3 vector, A vector, B1 vector, C2 vector, A vector, B1 vector, C1 vector, A vector, B2 vector, C2 vector we are going to find. Okay students, let's move to the answer. Now I'm going to simplify this thing. First, here whenever the vectors are multiplied the perpendicular vector it is 0. Okay students, now so I'm going to take in here, so A vector dot B vector which is equal to 0 here. Okay, so A vector B1 vector I'm going to take in here. So next I'm going to substitute A vector dot B1 vector I'm going to substitute here. So B vector equal to B vector minus B vector A vector by A vector square into A. Okay students, I'm going to substitute here. So B vector minus B vector A vector by mod of A vector the whole square into A vector. Okay students, now I'm going to multiply this A to inside the bracket, so it will become A vector dot B vector minus B vector dot A vector divided by mod of A vector the whole square into A vector dot A vector. So this A vector. Okay students, so here this value here A vector square cancel and A vector dot B vector minus B vector dot A vector here. So I'm going to take in here, so A vector dot B vector minus A vector dot B vector. I'm going to change, both are same, right, which is equal to 0. Okay, which is equal to 0. Therefore A vector, B2 vector and C2 vector are wrong. Okay, so it's just wrong. Now I'm going to take the second condition here. So B1, and now I'm going to take the B1 and the C2 vector. So B1 and C2 I'm going to take in here. So B1 vector dot C2 vector. Okay, so I'm going to substitute the value here. So B1 vector into C2 vector. C vector minus C vector dot A vector divided by mod of A vector square into A vector minus BC vector. Okay, so it's minus B vector dot C vector divided by B1 B vector square into B vector, right? So this is the C2 vector here. Okay, students, this one is B1 vector, right? So this one is B1 vector. So this one is B1 vector square, this one is B1 vector here. So they given here B1 vector. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply this B vector to inside the bracket. So it is became B vector dot C vector minus C vector dot A vector divided by A vector the whole square into A vector dot B vector, A vector dot B1 vector minus this one B vector, here they given B vector dot C vector divided by B1 vector the whole square into B1 vector and B1 vector. So this value here, this both values are common, so I'm going to cancel here. So here the both values are common, I'm going to cancel here, and B1C vector and B1C vector cancel here. Okay, so therefore remaining values here, I'm going to take the common values outside, so it will become minus C vector dot A vector divided by mod of A vector square into A vector into here. b vector minus b vector a vector divided by a vector square into a vector. Okay, so this is the b1 vector here. So this is the b1 vector. I'm going to substitute here. So the b1 vector. Next, I'm going to take this value to the inside. So it will become minus ca vector divided by mod of a vector the whole square into a vector dot b vector minus b vector dot a vector divided by a vector the whole square into a vector and this a vector here a vector cancel here. Okay, so a vector cancel here, and this vector cancel here. So this is the bracket, right? So this vector cancel here. So the both values are 0, therefore the whole values is 0. Therefore when the product of two vectors are 0, therefore b1 vector and c2 vector are perpendicular. Okay, students. Now, so b1 and c2. Okay, so b1 and c2. So b1 and c2 here I'm going to take on here. So it is perpendicular. Next I'm going to check whether a vector and c2 vector, a vector and c2 vector I'm going to check. Okay, so I'm going to check here a vector into c2 vector, which is equal to 0. Now I'm going to substitute the c vector here, c2 vector here. So a vector into c2 vector. C2 vector is c into ca by a square a into b1 b1. Okay, so therefore I'm going to substitute here. So c vector minus c vector into a vector divided by mod of a vector whole square into a square minus c vector into b vector divided by b1 vector the whole square into b1 vector. Okay, so now I'm going to multiply the a inside, so it will become a vector dot c vector minus c vector dot a vector divided by mod of a vector the whole square into a vector into a vector minus c vector dot b vector divided by b1 vector the whole square into b1 vector. Here a value cancel here, and this value cancel here. So and remaining values is I'm going to return here, remaining values I'm going to return here, students. So minus c vector dot b vector divided by b1 vector the whole square into b1 vector I'm going to substitute here. So b1 vector I'm going to substitute. So a square a. Okay, so I'm going to substitute here. So b vector minus b vector into a vector divided by a vector the whole square into a vector. Okay, students, here, and by default here a vector is right, and by default here a vector is right. So here a vector is there. So I'm going to take this a vector to the inside, so it will become minus c vector dot b vector divided by b1 vector the whole square into a vector dot b vector minus b vector into a vector divided by mod of a vector the whole square into a vector into a vector. Here this value cancel, and this value cancel here. So this is the bracket. So it is 0. So 0 into 0, which is equal to 0. Therefore a vector dot c2 vector are perpendicular. Therefore, by seeing above all the conditions, a vector A vector, B1 vector and C2 vector are perpendicular. And this is the answer, students, and this is the answer. So option B is the correct answer. Option B is the correct answer. Okay, students, thank you.
क्लास 6 से 12 से लेके नीट IIT JEE मेंस और एडवांस के लेवल तक 10 मिलियन से ज्यादा स्टूडेंट्स का भरोसा। आज ही डाउनलोड करें डाउटनेट ऐप या व्हाट्सएप कीजिए अपने डाउट्स 8400 400 400 पर।